In this video, I'm looking at a game from GMT called Chariots of Fire. It is a part of the Great Battles of History series. I believe it's volume 14. And it's interesting in that it zeroes in on the Bronze Age. In fact, it covers from 2300 BC to 1200 BC. And some of the things highlighted, as the title suggests, is that this is the era where the chariot rose as the new technology, and generally who had the advantage with chariots is who would end up winning. This game also includes heroic leaders that can fight each other, like in a one-on-one David and Goliath type battle that you might think of from the Bronze Age. I'm going to take a brief look at a battle called Sumer, estimated date 2320 BCE, and I think this is the oldest tactical battle that I've ever played. There's obviously not a lot of historical information on it. It's a little bit sketchy, but the battle is considered a significant one, resulting in the unification of Sumer and Acadia. And in this game, the Acadians have Sargon the Great, which I think is very cool to have him involved in a battle. And he has an army poised against the Sumerian king, Lugar-Sajizi. So this is very cool. The forces, are in this game are actually exactly the same on each side. The same number of men, the same types of units exactly. The only difference really favoring the Acadians is that Sargon has better leader ratings than Lugar-Sajizi. And that is about the only difference. So anybody could really win this battle. The flight point and routing is exactly the same for either side. There's also very limited types of troops, as we would expect going back so far in ancient history. There are shock infantry. Both sides have an equal number, and they have spears, presumably, and possibly daggers or small swords of some sort, and they just go into a scrum with each other. And then there are some light troops also, and these are in three varieties. Some have a self bow, others have a javelin, and some have slingshots. And that's pretty much what you get. This really predates the chariots, but there are some pre-chariots. We'll call them battle wagons. They were slow and unwieldy somewhat, but that's presumably those units were where our Sargon the Great and Lugar-Sajizi would position themselves to move around the battlefield. So that's what we have here. I did have a short little, narration of a game that I played of this. So I'll show a few pictures and along with it. This first picture shows the opening setup, and as you know, this series doesn't really have specific timed out turns, but it just is a back and forth until one side flees the battlefield. And as you can see in the picture, they basically are the same forces. You can see King Sargon with the Akkadian army and King Lugar-Sajizi with the Sumerian army. They have exactly, as I mentioned before, the same disposition of troops. It's just that the leaders are not the same. This next picture shows the aspect of the battle that as it broke out. What happened is the Sumerians made the first move here, and they hit the Akkadian army initially on its right flank, The Acadians are in the green colors, and the Sumerians are blue in this. And you can see this just turns into a scrum. It's just a head-on, mash-it-out fight that occurs in this battle. And you can see also that this battle uses the Mitanni units from the game to represent the Akkadian units. They don't have their own units in this. These are just presumed relative. They don't do much but have shock ability. And you can see there is an Akkadian spear unit in the back on the lower left part of the picture, and then in the lower center part of the picture you can see an Akkadian javelin unit. The other ones are just shock units. So you can't really tell who's winning here, but it actually looks like the Akkadians are starting to get the upper hand a little bit. What ends up happening is the Akkadians finally get to seize the initiative, and they are able to flank, break through and flank the Sumerians. And what ends up happening is the Sumerians rout. They reach their rout point level from losses. So this ends up being a historical Akkadian victory, I guess you could say. There was no fight between the two kings. They could have, but it didn't work out that they get involved with each other. But this is a pretty even game to play out if you're just trying to learn this system. And it doesn't really have all of the special chariot rules because the leaders are only using battle wagons, and they each only have one battle wagon unit. But anyway, I found the game kind of fun, and it was novel for me to be able to play, I guess what you might call the Battle of Sumer in 2320 BCE. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.